Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin on Saturday. Typically a rather quiet day. Well, normally in the bull market sometimes things are a little different, but typically also in the bull market it's one of the more quiet days. And Bitcoin, seems to be working on its B wave that we discussed yesterday. Yeah, if this is already this B wave here, so circle wave B, and we're currently working on a small ABC structure in wave B, or if it's already all of wave B that's being worked on, probably the next few sessions will show. It's not so important at the moment. I explained to you that it doesn't really matter so much what the exact microstructure is. Of course, I track it for you. Of course, I give you my best perspective on the actual microstructure within a correction. But it's impossible to know how exactly a correction is going to unfold, what exactly the micro patterns are going to be. There are just too many options in corrections. There are more than 10 Elliott Wave patterns suitable for a B wave, I think around 13 actually. And then these corrections have corrective structures within themselves. So, you get that sort of combination of probabilities and options. And yeah, it's going to get, we still try to nail the microstructure that's developing, but we have to always be very much aware that they can change and shift, especially in corrective patterns. What is more important than the microstructure, and that's really why we use it, is to understand when a first impulse to the upside shows. So when we see a first decent 5-wave pattern to the upside, also on the smaller time frame, well, that is why we are tracking the microstructures, because then we get a very early heads up that things might go the other way, which is more directly to the upside. At the moment, my interpretation suggests that the price is in a wave 4 correction. What we've seen so far is a little bit too shallow for a wave 4, or just a bit too weak for a wave 4. And I would prefer a more pronounced wave 4 correction, so that we have here an A, B, C would be ideal. Or, in one way or another, just sort of getting into this support region. Could also be that the B wave is a triangle. So therefore I'm saying, what is much more important than the microstructure is to understand what is the support area. And the support area is between 50,750 and 61,800 pretty much. So these are the relevant support parameters, and that doesn't mean Bitcoin necessarily has to reach that zone. However, if the wave count is correct, Bitcoin should. And the ideal support level for a fourth wave is typically the 38.2 retracement, in this case at basically 55.5K. So that would be the ideal, let's say, target for a fourth wave. I have to say though that Bitcoin sometimes doesn't quite reach the 38.2 fib level, especially in a bullish market. Bitcoin sometimes either ends just above it or only reaches the 23.6 fib level, because a lot of people can't imagine that Bitcoin could ever get down to 55K. Again, I see that in the comments. Well, and it might be that it doesn't do it in this pullback, but that's why the support zone starts at the 23.6 fib level. If we don't even get there, I would have a hard time to believe that we're actually in a wave 4. But for now, this is the support region. So as long as it holds, that's really the main message. As long as it holds, the focus is on higher prices overall. In the short term, however, lower prices to get into this support region or work on these corrective structures that might play out over the next few sessions. It is possible that Bitcoin forms just a long sideways correction, never touches the support area. These corrections can happen over time or over price. And if they happen over time, then they are typically less deep. But then it should take a while and we will be able to pick that up if it is a triangle or something that's unfolding here. So after the wave 4 is complete, we should move up in a wave 5. So let's take a look at the shorter time frame. Here, not too much development since yesterday. So here you can see that still I'm tracking here that the third wave topped indeed, as I just explained to you here on Thursday. Then we had this initial 5-wave move down. You can also count this move down as a 3-wave move, for example, a WXY structure, possibly even as an ABC. Yeah. So again, I've labeled it as 5-wave move. You can as a diagonal pattern, but it's also possible to label this move to the downside as just a, probably, WXY would probably work. Or even A, B, C, and the C wave had a small tiny 1-2 setup up here, 3, 4, 5. So does it really matter? No, it's more an academic thing. However, if it is a 3-wave move, it would give us a hint that the B wave might be aggressive and might overshoot. If it's a 5-wave move, then the B wave is normally not that aggressive. The problem is, in this case, it's not very clear. You know, for me, I'm very neutral if this is a 3-wave move down or a 5-wave move. So we have to keep the door open for an aggressive and more extended B wave, while it's possible the B wave has already topped. Either way, the focus is on further lower prices in the short term towards that orange support area that I showed you. But it is possible that the B wave goes a little higher before that happens. So I think it's important to know about the relevant markers on the chart, the relevant levels that would explain or confirm to us that this B wave has topped. So if the idea, you know, the idea is, okay, A wave low, I think we can tick that off. Doesn't really matter so much if it's a 5-wave or a 3-wave pattern. The move up is a 3-wave move so far, so it's possible that in the white count, this is a B wave. That would be the short-term bearish scenario in which the B wave topped already. And then this was a wave 1 to the downside. We can interpret a micro 5-wave pattern to the downside on the 5-minute chart, but that is really unreliable. Then this could be a wave 2, and we might be heading to the downside now in a 3rd wave, 4th wave, 5th wave. So I need to see certain levels break to confirm that this B wave has topped and the C wave to the downside has started to unfold to get closer to that target area. I need to see a break initially below 67,420, which is the last swing low, followed by a convincing break below 65,650, which is the swing low. It's 550, which is the swing low that formed yesterday. And yeah, then we can say, okay, B wave is topped. Until then, I cannot rule out a higher B wave. I think it's quite probable, especially it's Saturday, so I think it's gonna create some fluctuations and create a more complex pattern here. Bitcoin saw a bounce yesterday from where I said that a higher B wave could occur. So I just list the two potentials here on the chart. In reality, there are many more options here. For example, the B wave could turn into a triangle, but we don't know that yet. At the moment, I can tell you that the movements to the upside are definitely corrective. So unless that changes, I would expect lower prices in wave C. Before then, the wave 4 forms a low and we get back and continue the uptrend. No? But as I said, until these levels are taken out, there's no confirmation that we're heading closer to our target area or support area for wave 4. So we have to be a bit flexible in the next few sessions, over the next few sessions, about the microstructures here. So I will always give you two or three potentials possibly how this correction could unfold. Next structural resistance is around 70,060. And then the wave 2 high, of course, at 72,320. However, based on Fib levels, if really this is a wave C that's unfolding within a larger B wave in the yellow count, the ideal target is around 72.6 to possibly even 76K, even though that would be quite a stretch. If we go beyond that, I have to assume that something different is going on, like a 1-2 setup, and we are very directly bullish. Again, it's a bullish market still, so it's always a question of time frame. The larger time frame, I would not short this move. I have to say that very clearly. I would not be positioned on the short side. I would just use dips if they show to add positions. That's what I would do from a tactical point of view, because in this bull market, pullbacks have been extremely shallow. Can I rule out that the entire correction finished yesterday? No, but there's no evidence for it at the moment. Okay, so movements to the upside are very, very corrective. So there's no setup for it at the moment. Doesn't mean it could happen. Anything could happen in the markets. Okay, anything could happen in the markets. It's all about a question of probability. And at the moment, probability suggests that we're in a larger correction that could either lead to a direct breakdown or a more extended B wave followed by a sell-off. Markets are dynamic, and if microstructures change, I will let you know. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.